Hi guys, good morning. My name is Rohit Prakash. Yesterday I left off with I was going to explain to you a little bit about how to overcome some objections, how to acquire clients that you've been dripping on. Dripping means following up and trying to acquire their business for it doesn't matter how long of a time. Maybe it could be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, a year, or what have you, and also what to do or what to say specifically if they say no. Okay. Well, first off, I want to say that my chain that I'm wearing here, it's 18 karat gold with a little bit of diamonds, is a bonus gift from my business partner Andrew Schultz for for doing a good job at something. So it's not something I went out and got myself, but it was a gift from him. So yeah, let's just get that out of the way because I know it could deviate your focus from one place to another. The first thing is overcoming objections. Okay, there's this acronym called B. It's the letter B, and then A N, and then T like Thomas, and V like Victor. So it's band TV. The first B is budget. The second A is authority, and the N is need, and the T is timeliness, and the V is value. To get into that, just go down on my page and you'll see the template I uploaded, and it will explain exactly what each acronym does, and in clear detail it says what it means, and then you could interpret that. And if you have any questions, you could DM me on that, and I will get back to you. Okay. Marketing is my wheelhouse. I've landed one of my former clients was a president of Sony and Universal Pictures. I had to fly out to LA to Culver City and by Beverly Hills to acquire her, and that was a long time ago. But I've had specific training and lots of money that was put into me, and I spend lots of money in applying these types of tactics I'm trying to bring to you. And I hope that you can get them, and you're getting this all for free. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and dive into this. The next thing is tactical strategies, which means short-term things you could do right now to acquire these clients that keep saying no or that have an excuse or give you the runaround. One of the major things that I've known or that I've done for myself that works. One of the things that I've done that I know that works is that I've when I speak to the people and they take the time out to speak to me but not give me their business and they say no, and I say you always want to isolate the objection, right? So you want to say, may I ask you, Rohit, uh, why are you telling me no? I don't want to. I'm not trying to be pressure you or make you feel uncomfortable, but it may help me in my practice in my business, and it may help me to develop as a person in my business and grow because people always want to help. Or when you say that, you could also say, can you help me? Can you please help me understand why you don't want to do business with me? You probably speak to me more than your other salespeople. So if you're getting this type of customer service with me right now without the product, imagine the kind of service you're gonna get when you do have the product with me. Okay, so that will separate you from the other people and you, because you're speaking to them more often if you're doing it properly, and if you're persistent, really persistent, you're speaking to them more often than their current person or their current advisor or salesperson or what have you. Okay, and that will give you an edge than the other people because you always want to leave a good lasting impression, and they probably know you by now by first name. Okay, so that's one strategy on that's one strategy on acquiring a prospect or a prospective client. Okay, and you always want to have a good a good mindset of that. You could be optimist. You could be optimistic and try to be optimistic when doing these types of things. And when you're opening up the conversation, you can call them and you could say, "Hey, listen, I was just thinking about you, and I saw this article or blah blah blah, and I knew it would apply to you because you had mentioned in the last conversation, and you have your notes there. And your last conversation, you had mentioned you you the markets, the inflation rate's about 2.78, and your savings account is yielding 1.59 per year. So even if you put your money in cash, you're still losing it in inflation. So just by sitting there, you're losing your money on interest rate risk or inflation risk, meaning that the inflation amount is higher than what you're getting paid on your cash just resting there. And in my investment performance portfolio, whether it be a CD, whether it be a mutual fund, whether it be a preferred stock, it's paying about 4.5% per year. Or when my bond matures, it'll mature at 6%, paying you semi-annually. So it will make sense to have your cash or your assets invested with me, and you'll receive top-notch quality service. You want to be whatever you. For me personally, I want to be the Mercedes Benz of customer service and client acquisition. Okay, it's coincidentally I that's what I drive. Okay, but that's just me. But for other people, if you want to be however you want to run your practice, you want to be a consistent Honda Accord, Civic, whatever. You want to use analogies and you want to paint pictures in your client's mind. In your client's mind, you want to paint pictures. I use the cars, but Hondas. I used to have a Honda. They're consistent singles, triples, and some home runs, but they're always on base. They always hit the car. They're very consistent, very reliable, and they'll always very dependable. They'll always be there. So you can do that, and you want to become, and you can become. Yes, please. You have to excuse me. I do a skin regimen in the morning that I have on my face here. You want to become a type of figure or an authority figure or a person or a go-to person that they can come to with their needs, even if they're not a client. I, there's so many prospects when I'm in business that were not my clients that I would talk to and I would know so much about them, but they wouldn't do business. One day I was talking to this guy. This is a personal story for me. I was talking to this guy, and I can say his first name. Um, let's say it began with an M. Okay, and this is when I used to live in Aventura, and I used to work in Hollandale Beach. And I said, M is an older gentleman. We've been speaking for a year and a half, 2 years. This was when I was about 23, 24. He said, why aren't we doing business together? And he said, Rohit, you know what? That's an excellent question. So I said, okay, M, let's set up a meeting when you can come here, or I'll be more than happy to go to your house. What differentiated me at that point in time was that I was an advisor that would make house calls. That was a value proposition. People love that. They like to be in their domain. And went there and I got his business. And it's things like that. And if you can't find beauty, you want to create it, right? Things that on your downtime, on your downtime, excuse me, on your downtime, if you're, for me particularly, my downtime, I'm obsessed with creating new ways of generating business or making money or making a client feel special or happy. You can send a personalized types of things to your client's address, right? I used to quote, I think, Harry and David's, and you can personalize, like, uh, if they don't drink wine, you could personalize apple cider bottles with their sticker with their names on it, with your name on it. You could put Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Thank you for being great clients from Rohit Prakash. Actually have a real bottle of apple cider or what have you with your name on it, and it will be sent to them. So it's very impressive. So it'll be a centerpiece. So on their dinner table. So when they're having dinner and they see this, they say, "Oh, where'd you get that?" "Oh, my friend Rohit. He happens to be my advisor. He got this for us in the family." And then they introduce you, and then the referral process starts. Remember, it's always easier and cheaper, less expensive to work with a client that you currently have than to try to go out and get a new client. It's always cheaper to get a client you currently have with more clients through that person than going out and acquiring more clients. Okay? So if you have someone, let them know, listen, you say these exact same words and it'll work out. "Listen, you've been an excellent client of mine. I need more people. I would love to have more people like you and my clientele, and my client list and client books. Would you please mind if I could have, or can you please give me some people you think that can benefit from my services just as you have? Okay. Do you think there's any people that can benefit from my services just as you have? And if so, can you introduce me, or would you mind if I gave them a call?" And more likely than not, they're gonna say, "You know what? Let me talk to them first, and I'll give them a call." If you don't want to wait for that, say, "You know what? Let's just call them together if you don't mind." Listen, when at any point in time, when these people, your prospects or your clients, are thinking something, they're gonna become, they're gonna, you're gonna, you, they're gonna feel a little bit discomfort, and you're gonna have to reassure them and tell them, "Listen, I'm not doing my job if you're not feeling uncomfortable, right?" Just tell them, "I know you're uncomfortable, but that's a part of my job and my business. But I'm here to take that to make you feel less uncomfortable, to depressurize that, to de-stress you. I'm here just to let go of all the preconceived notions of salespeople and business people and business owners." Okay? So this is good content, guys, that you could practically use, and you can, please, if you can, you could write it down, because this is priceless type of information that I had to pay to get, and I was like a sponge. Whoever the top producers were, I mean, people, I don't know what people were thinking. They wouldn't realize it, but I mean, whoever the top producers were, they're happy to speak with me for some reason. And I would go into their office, and whatever they were saying or doing, I would just be writing it down. I would study their mannerisms. I would study their body movements. I would study what they said, how they said it. I would record people. I would listen to it over and over again, because these guys are making $1 million, and I'm stuck here making $40,000, $50,000. And what's separating me? They had 20 years of experience, and they seen market declines, and they seen markets go up, and they survived in the bad markets, and they thrived in the good markets. You want to reinvigorate your people and your clients, and to assure them right now is a very unique time and opportunity, because it's the coronavirus out there. So there's probably not gonna be much selling going on. But if you can make every phone call, every contact with your person very valuable, and they'll remember you for that, and you always want to have, or be a person, be value added. Okay, you call someone, yeah. If you There's always a reason to call someone. You can, if it's not about business, it's because I was thinking about you. If it's an email on a subject, you just put "thinking of you," and I guarantee you they'll open up the email, and you are thinking of them, and it's not gonna be, don't you're not gonna come off as being too friendly or any type of flirtatious type of thing. You want to stay away from that, okay? And you just want to let them know that you're there to alleviate them from stress, and you're there to always hold their hand during a down time, right? You're there to hold them there for a downtime. You want to leave them, when you hang up the phone, feeling good about themselves and about yourselves. And if there's any questions, you call me. I'll be there. You can email me. I'll get back to you within 24 hours. You can text me. You can text. And the best case scenario is when you have a client and they become like your friends, and you're able to text them and do all this type of stuff. Text them, email them. You go to baseball games. You travel with them. You go here and there. You take them to restaurants. They take you to restaurants. What have you. Once you establish that, the referral process begins. Um, to land a good client, it take maybe 5 or 6 months. It depends what type of business you're in. If you're in advanced level, sometimes you could do it. It just takes a second, one day, and you've earned yourself a new client. The time and effort is a part of the process. Concentrate on that. The results and the money is a consequence of your time and effort you put into the people. The results is the money and the financial stuff you get from them and the commissions. But the time and effort is what you focus on, and the results will follow. You leave everything on the field, and the people and the clients and the prospects will come. Have a set plan of every month or every 2 weeks, I'm going to call this person, this prospect, and ask them how they're doing. Ask them uh, what part of the business do they want, or are they still happy where they're at. But you're just gonna keep on. They want to hear your name. Typically, a client to come on board with you, if they're not already, will have to hear your name about 6 or 7 times before they sign on board with you. That's just been studies and examples. I know the game has changed, but that's what it is for for me right now. Ever since from a long time ago to now, there's been a paradigm shift in thinking, and everything has happened that it's used to be cold calling, and now there's a do not call list and all that kind of stuff. So people like this kind of face to face interaction. You can FaceTime people, you can Zoom people, you can Skype people, you can go to their house, you can you can do creative things. Initially, in the beginning, it'll make you feel uncomfortable, but once you start doing it, I guarantee you, it'll have a domino effect, and you'll become unstoppable. Unstoppable. Believe me, it happened to me when I first started at Morgan Stanley. There was about around the country, there was like more than 5,000 or 6,000 people or something like that in training in my peer class. And at the end, about maybe 3 or 4 were left standing, and I was one of them. So, what I'm telling you, if you could apply it to you for your business, this is what I want to help people. It's my calling. It's something that people tell me I'm good at, and something that I feel that I'm good at, and I want to bring this knowledge and information to you. This was about 18 minutes of me giving you information and advice for free. If I'll be back on here in the evening speaking about something else, or later on tomorrow, but I just want to get that information out there. Please, guys, please, if you have a pen and paper, write down some of the information, or record it, or what have you. And I guarantee you, if you take one idea, whenever you go anywhere, we want to hear people talk, blah 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 blah. We're salespeople. We can't sit still, right? So just take one idea, write it down. It could be an hour long seminar. Take one idea, write it down, and just use that one idea. As long as you get one idea from it and you implement it over and over and over again, and it becomes a part of your mental cycle wheelhouse, and it's over and over, and you constantly achieve that. It's like building a muscle, and that muscle gets strengthened so much stronger that you're able to overcome everything. But you want to divide and conquer, right? So one day you work out biceps, the next day you work out chest, the next day you work out legs. So your whatever your strengths are, you know what they are. Whatever your weaknesses are, you write down what your strengths are, write down what your weaknesses are, and then divide them up, and practice on each one, whatever your strength is. And slowly but surely, it will all come together. And the only way to do that is to take action. You take action. It takes constant failure to get success, right? Thomas Edison, he didn't say, I failed 10,000 times before I made the light bulb. He said, I found 10,000 ways of not doing it to make the light bulb. That's what he said. So that's that kind of mindset that you have to have. It's the it's the it's the it's not the most strongest or intelligence of the species that survives, right? It's the most adaptable to change that survive, according to Charles Darwin. Again, now this time I'm really gonna close for real. Thank you for taking the time out to be there and listening to me for these 20 minutes, okay? Take care. Have a great day. You can DM me and I will be there to help you out. Take care. Bye bye. My name is Rohit Prakash.